So, Jonnu Smith just got released by the Atlanta Falcons. You don't know who Jonnu Smith is? He was a third round pick for the Tennessee Titans back in the 2017 NFL Draft. And while he is a decent receiver, I will say, I say it like that because it's like, he's good. He's good at receiving the ball. He's more of a hands guy. But his big thing is he's also a really good run blocker. That's really what his big stick is, right? He can obviously go out there and catch the football. He can be a vertical threat tight end, but that's not really his big thing that he's good at. He's good at run blocking. It's what he's always been good at when he was with Tennessee. Now, obviously, it helps out a lot when you have Derrick Henry in the backfield, and, Derrick Henry in the backfield, you're a tight end. Guess what, buddy? You're going to be a run blocker, right? You might as well learn how to be a run blocker if you have Derrick Henry behind you. Question is, should the Cincinnati Bengals sign Jonnu Smith? Now, here's the thing. I feel like if we sign Jonnu Smith, in my personal opinion, I do like Jonnu Smith. I think he's a great player. He's going to be Irv Smith 2.0. And I just don't want to go down that route again. I really don't. That's why I've been very hesitant about a lot of tight ends that, have hit free agency and that are in free agency. And it's like, oh, well, should we sign this guy, this guy, and this guy? And the reason why I've been so hesitant about a lot of these options is because, again, I don't want to go down that route with, Irv Smith yet again here. And, well, he is a good run blocker, or he was a good run blocker. I'm not saying he can't be a good run blocker, but at one point he really was a good run blocker. I don't know how I feel about going out there and spending money on a player and taking up a roster spot. I mean, listen, here's how I'll say it, right? If you want to put him on a 90-man roster and sign him to a 90-man roster, I have no problem with that. If you want to test him out through OTAs, mini camp, training camp, and then preseason and see how good of an asset he is for you, I'm absolutely fine with that, right? If he checks all your boxes when it comes to blocking, great, awesome, right? If you want to give him an incentive-based contract where it's league minimum and the incentive base is based on how many games he plays, how many receptions he has, how many yards and touchdowns, if that's what you want to do, I am all okay with that. And I always say everyone's a yes depending on the price tag because that's really what it comes down to. How good is this player? Well, how much are they going to cost us, right? That's what it comes down to. So if all that is being said, and his price tag is, good, then okay. I have no problem with it. As another blocker out there, we always can use extra blockers, let's be honest, right? We can always use extra help on the offensive line as another extended blocker. So if that's the case, I have no problem with it. Now, he was traded from the Patriots to the Falcons a year ago, and now they just went ahead and cut him. You can see his overall grade, 59.1 with the Falcons, 63.5 receiving, and 56.9 rushing. He actually had one carry, so that's pretty much his whole thing here. But I want to see, do they have the run blocking percentage for him? They have pass blocking percentage, and you can see for pass blocking, he's not bad. Like, he's a pretty damn good pass blocker, and he's always been a pretty damn good pass blocker. More of a run blocker, but he also always been pretty good at the pass blocking game when he's had to be utilized in that game. Not as much actually in Tennessee. But what I want to see here though is actually give me his run blocking. So, okay, so Tennessee 57 grade, 56.6, 52.1, and 61.4. Not the greatest. As you can see, though, look how many times he was a run blocker. 245 times, 246, 299. Yeah, you got Derrick Henry in the backfield. Guess what, buddy? You're a run blocker. And then, obviously, in New England, I'm not going to trash him for New England. New England has been trash on offense ever since 2021. That's not a reflection on him. And Atlanta Falcons last year was a garbage can. So I'm not going to put too much on him for his time here. I'm really just reflecting on his time in Tennessee. Now, again, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's 7 years in the league, right? With being 7 years in the league, things aren't always the same as they were 7 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 3 years ago, 4 years, whatever, right? Players degress over time. They get worse. So while he might have been a decent run blocker, pass blocker back a couple years ago, he's probably not the same as he was before. And the run blocking, again, I'm not going to put too much on that because I think a lot of that does come down to, the poor systems he's been in. And actually, pass blocking actually got a lot better in Atlanta and New England the last 2 years. But I'm okay with seeing what he could give us, okay? So I say yes. Pick him up. Pick him up for a very discounted price, and I mean league minimum, incentive-based contract, and add him to the 90-man roster. And just like every other tight end we're going to have this offseason, and listen, that's how I look at things, right? Pick up as many tight ends as you can on this roster, on a 90-man roster. As many options, as many good options, not crap options, good options. And then you're going to have to go through like a fine-tooth comb and find your best options when the 53-man roster comes around. Because the best thing you can have is too many good options, right? That's just simply how it is. So with us having extra money and a little bit extra salary cap, we should go out there, take a shot on him. Take a shot on him, and guess what? If he doesn't make the 53-man roster, he doesn't make the 53-man roster. You're not going out there right now and having to sign this guy and then tomorrow being like, 53-man roster, that's pretty much that. No, you don't have to do that. You can keep him on the roster until August, until September, and then go, you're done. We got somebody else. And again, maybe he can also help out our rookie tight ends or our young tight ends who are on the roster who he can help develop, right? So there's always different things you can work with, right? So I'm for it. I'm for it. I'm very much in the PTSD stage of saying that I don't want Irv Smith 2.0 to happen. But as long as we contain this and we keep it in a very small sample size for this, I think we should be fine. There shouldn't be much issue at all. Hopefully. And so at the end of the day, for 90-man roster, he's an absolute yes. But if we brought him past the 90-man roster to the 53-man roster, it depends on who's he's getting the job over, really. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.